Have you ever wondered why certain stories, like a hero facing impossible odds or a wise mentor guiding the way, feel so deeply familiar, like they're part of you? What if those stories aren't just entertainment, but clues to the hidden patterns shaping your life? Welcome to Archetypes Explained, a beginner's guide. In the next 30 minutes, we'll uncover Carl Jung's powerful concept of archetypes and show you how to use them to unlock your inner wisdom. Stick with me. This is going to change the way you see yourself. Let's kick things off with a question. Have you ever watched a movie, read a book, or had a dream that hit you so hard it felt like it was speaking directly to your soul? Maybe it was a tale of a brave adventurer, a shadowy villain, or a comforting figure who seemed to know exactly what you needed to hear. These aren't just random stories. They're archetypes, universal patterns that live in all of us, and they hold the key to understanding who you are and why you do what you do. On Saffron Live Rational Live Free, we're all about living rationally and freely, and archetypes are like a roadmap to that freedom. Developed by Carl Jung, archetypes are the building blocks of the human psyche, shared across cultures and time. They show up in myths, dreams, and even your everyday choices, guiding you in ways you might not even notice. If you're new to this, don't worry. This beginner's guide will break it down simply and show you how to tap into these universal forces for personal growth. By the end, you'll know what archetypes are, why they matter, and how to use them to live a more authentic life. Ready to discover the stories inside you? Let's dive in. So, why should you care about archetypes? Let's get real for a moment. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions? Maybe you're working hard, checking off boxes, job, relationships, goals, but deep down, there's this quiet sense that something's off. You might feel stuck, like you're living someone else's life, or you're wrestling with the same fears and doubts over and over again. Sound familiar? You're not alone. In today's world, it's easy to feel disconnected from the deeper parts of yourself. This disconnection is a real problem. We're surrounded by noise, social media, deadlines, the pressure to succeed. But what does success even mean if you don't feel connected to your own story? Carl Jung, the psychologist who gave us the concept of archetypes, believed that we're all part of a larger human tapestry, woven together by shared patterns in what he called the collective unconscious. But when we ignore those patterns, we lose touch with the wisdom that could guide us. It's like trying to read a book, but only skimming the first page. You're missing the deeper story. Picture this. Your mind is like a vast ancient library. On the shelves are books you've written, your personal experiences, memories, and choices. But there are also older books, ones that were there before you were born, filled with universal stories that belong to all of humanity. These are the archetypes, and they're trying to speak to you through your dreams, your instincts, even the stories you're drawn to. But most of us never open those books. We're too busy chasing the next deadline or scrolling through our feeds to notice the deeper messages trying to get through. This shows up in all kinds of ways. Maybe you keep having dreams about a shadowy figure that scares you, but you brush it off. Or maybe you're drawn to stories about heroes overcoming impossible odds, but you don't see how that connects to your own life. These aren't just random thoughts, they're archetypes, universal patterns trying to guide you. When you ignore them, you might find yourself stuck in loops, procrastinating on a dream, staying in relationships that drain you, or feeling like you're not enough, no matter what you achieve. This isn't just a personal issue, it's cultural. We live in a society that values logic and productivity over intuition and meaning. We're taught to focus on what's outside, grades, money, status, while the inner world gets pushed aside. Jung warned that without a connection to our deeper selves, we risk living a provisional life, always waiting for something more, but never knowing what. It's like building a house on a shaky foundation. Everything might look fine on the outside, but inside, you feel unsteady. Let's take it further. This disconnection affects more than just your mood. It shows up in your relationships. Maybe you keep choosing partners who mirror your unresolved fears. It shows up in your work. Maybe you're in a job that pays the bills but feels soulless. Over time, this can lead to anxiety, burnout, or a nagging sense that you're missing the point of your own life. The stakes are high, but the good news is that you don't have to stay stuck. Archetypes are like a hidden compass, waiting to guide you back to yourself. Let's explore what they are and how they work. Psychological, philosophical insights. To understand archetypes, we need to step into the mind of Carl Jung. Jung was a visionary psychologist who believed the human psyche is more than just our personal thoughts and experiences. He saw it as a vast, layered landscape with the collective unconscious at its core, a shared reservoir of human wisdom that we all inherit. Within this collective unconscious live archetypes, universal patterns, images, and instincts that shape how we think, feel, and act. They're like the DNA of the human soul, connecting us across cultures and time. So what exactly are archetypes? Think of them as the characters, themes, and symbols that show up in every story, myth, and dream. They're not something you invent. They're already there, hardwired into your psyche. Jung identified many archetypes, but let's focus on a few key ones to keep it beginner-friendly. First, there's the hero, the archetype of courage and transformation. This is the part of you that faces challenges and grows, like Frodo in The Lord of the Rings, or even you when you push through fear to try something new. Then there's the shadow, the darker side of yourself, made up of the traits you hide or reject, like anger or insecurity. The shadow isn't bad, it's just unacknowledged, and it often shows up in dreams or moments of conflict. Another key archetype is the wise old man or wise old woman, the inner guide who offers wisdom, like Gandalf or a mentor in your life. And then there's the mother, a symbol of nurturing and protection, which might appear as a comforting figure or even a place like a home in your dreams. Let's make this real with an example. Imagine you keep having a dream about a dark, shadowy figure chasing you. That's likely the shadow archetype, representing a part of yourself you're avoiding. Maybe a fear of failure or a suppressed emotion. If you ignore it, that shadow might show up in your life as self-sabotage or sudden anger. But if you engage with it, you might discover what it's trying to teach you. One person I know dreamed of a shadow figure and realized it was their fear of being not good enough. By facing it, they started taking risks they'd avoided for years, like applying for a new job. Here's another scenario. Say you're drawn to stories about heroes overcoming obstacles. Think Star Wars or ancient myths like Hercules. That's the hero archetype resonating with you, nudging you to tap into your own courage. Or maybe you've had a dream about a wise old woman giving you advice. That's the wise old woman archetype, offering guidance from the collective unconscious. One woman I heard about had a dream like this during a tough career decision. The wise figure told her to trust the path, which gave her the confidence to leave a toxic job and start her own business. Why do archetypes matter? Because they're the language of the collective unconscious. Jung believed that by connecting with them, you're not just understanding yourself, you're tapping into the shared wisdom of humanity. This is what he called individuation, the process of becoming your true, whole self. Without archetypes, you're stuck on the surface, reacting to life instead of shaping it. Let's bring in a philosophical perspective. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about the will to power, the drive to create and become your best self. But you can't fully embrace that drive if you're disconnected from the archetypes that give your life meaning. The hero archetype pushes you to grow. The shadow challenges you to face your fears, and the wise old man guides you toward clarity. Together, they're like a team of inner mentors, helping you navigate life's challenges. The cost of ignoring archetypes is huge. When you don't recognize these patterns, you might feel like your life lacks depth. You might keep repeating the same mistakes, staying in a job that doesn't align with your values, or avoiding risks because of an unacknowledged shadow. Over time, this can lead to a sense of emptiness, like you're missing the bigger picture. But when you connect with archetypes, you start to see your life as a story, one you can actively shape. You begin to understand your dreams, your instincts, and even your struggles in a new way. It's like finding a script for your life that's been there all along. Practical advice and transformation. Okay, so how do you actually connect with archetypes? You don't need to be a psychologist or a mystic to do this. It's about paying attention to the patterns already present in your life. Here are 4 practical, beginner-friendly steps to start exploring archetypes. Rooted in Jung's ideas and designed to help you live rationally and freely. As we say on Sofran, live rational, live. Live free. Step 1. Notice archetypes in your stories. Start by paying attention to the stories you're drawn to. Movies, books, or even your favorite TV shows. What characters or themes resonate with you? Are you inspired by the hero's courage, like in The Matrix? Or do you relate to the mentor, like Yoda or Dumbledore? Write down 1 or 2 stories that feel meaningful and ask, why do they speak to me? For example, if you love stories about redemption, that might be the hero archetype calling you to transform. This step is about recognizing archetypes in the world around you as a gateway to your inner world. Step 2. Track archetypes in your dreams. Dreams are one of the easiest ways to spot archetypes because the collective unconscious loves to speak through them. Keep a notebook by your bed and jot down your dreams as soon as you wake up, even if they're fuzzy. Look for recurring figures or symbols, a shadowy stranger, a nurturing mother, a guiding elder. For example, if you dream about a lion, that might be the hero archetype, symbolizing strength. Ask yourself, what does this figure or symbol feel like? Don't worry about getting it right. Just notice what stands out. This opens a direct line to the collective unconscious. Step 3. Dialogue with an archetype. This is where you get active, using a simplified version of Jung's active imagination. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and pick an archetype from your dreams or stories. Say, the shadow or the wise old man. Visualize it as clearly as you can. Maybe the shadow is a dark figure in a cloak, or the wise old man is an elder by a fire. Ask it, what are you here to teach me? Or, why do you keep showing up? Let the archetype respond naturally. Don't force it. You might hear words, see a scene, or feel an emotion. For example, one person visualized their shadow and learned it was their fear of rejection, which helped them start speaking up at work. Write down or speak what happens to make it concrete. Step 4. Bring archetypes into your life. Finally, integrate what you've learned. After noticing or dialoguing with an archetype, reflect on its message. If the hero archetype showed up, maybe it's time to take a bold step, like starting a new project. If the shadow revealed a hidden fear, maybe you need to set a boundary or face a truth. Ask, what's one small action I can take? For example, if the mother archetype feels nurturing, you might carve out time for self-care. If the wise old man offers guidance, maybe you trust your intuition on a big decision. Integration is about making archetypes real in your daily life, even in tiny ways. Quick tip: start small. You don't need to master this overnight. Even 5 minutes of noticing archetypes or dialoguing with one can spark profound insights. The more you practice, the more you'll see these patterns shaping your life, guiding you toward clarity and purpose. Let's bring this home. Archetypes aren't just abstract ideas. They're the stories that live inside you, connecting you to the shared wisdom of humanity. Carl Jung believed that by understanding archetypes, you could embark on a journey of individuation, becoming your truest, most authentic self. They're like a cast of characters in your inner world, each with a lesson to teach you about courage, fear, wisdom, or love. Imagine what your life could look like if you started listening to these inner stories. Maybe you'd find the strength to chase a dream you've buried. Maybe you'd face a fear that's been holding you back. Or maybe you'd just feel more connected to yourself, to others, to the timeless patterns that make us human. You don't have to stay stuck in a surface-level life. You can tap into the archetypes and write your own story. Here's my challenge to you. This week, try one of the steps we talked about. Notice an archetype in a story, write down a dream, or have a quick dialogue with a figure from your imagination. See what it reveals. Then come back here and write in the comments, "I choose my archetypes." Share what you discovered. It could inspire someone else to start their journey. If this video resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to join Sofran Live, Rational Live. Live free for more content on living rationally and freely. For a deeper dive into archetypes, check out Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung. There's a link in the description. And if you want to keep exploring your inner world, watch our video on what is the collective unconscious next. It's the perfect next step. You are part of a bigger story, one that's been told for thousands of years. Your archetypes are waiting to guide you. What will you discover when you listen?